If you're a creative person trying to find your voice without losing yourself to somebody else's formula, this episode is definitely for you. My guest today is a full-blown artist. She is so talented. She's a photographer and now filmmaker and many, many other things. And her work lives somewhere at the intersection between intimacy, nostalgia, and non-traditional storytelling. What stood out to me right away from our conversation is that Shaunae did not wait for a formal life path to appear. She simply followed mentors and created her own along the way. And Shaunae has come over instead of getting on Riverside, so I'm going to get her. Hey, Shaunae.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good, just driving around town.
Hanging out in
the station wagon.
Station wagon?
In the PW.
I know the PW. I know the PW has a name and some history behind her.
Yes, she does.
How did you acquire such a fine specimen?
Well, I have amazing friends, and one of my friends got a new car, and she was like, I want to gift this beauty to someone new. And so I hit her up and she gave it to me.
Hey, and you love old cars, we
I
learned.
do love cars. It's the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
Nice.
Right?
I bet this is going to be way different next time I see her.
We'll see how fast I transform it.
Gotcha.
I might just accept her as she is first.
And just let her be.
Slowly, yeah.
Okay, so tell me. So I was introduced to you by James Swoop. He's a manager at M88, a macro company, which I think is like they won like 16 Oscars, right, just now for Sinners? I think 16 most ever in history. Crazy. And Swoop, he showed us right away. He was like, you got to meet Shaunae. She's doing this really cool documentary, which we'll get to in a minute. But I really want to get a little bit of your background because I know you have a degree in photojournalism, or is it just something you pick? You just do it?
It was something that I just reached out to people who did it and adopted them as mentors, and then they showed me the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what made you realize like you needed mentors or like the value of mentorship?
I feel like somewhere along the line, I learned that mentors is the fastest way to get to where you want. Like, you learn from the people that are doing what you want to do, and then go from there.
Wow.
So, yeah, I feel like I had a teacher who told me that because that's how he learned. And I was like, well, I'm going to learn how you learn. And I'll just reach out to whoever's in my area and see who's willing. And basically they all was like, sure.
Wow.
So I had a bunch of mentors, and they're still my mentors and friends.
Yeah.
So they're awesome.
Wow.
And I've learned so much. And they've introduced me to amazing people and companies and editors. Yeah, I value them.
Wow. That's really cool that you, at an early age, like when did you get your first mentor, would you say? How old were you?
I wouldn't even say it was an early age, but 2017. So I was
8 years ago.
21.
And yeah, that's so cool that you were like, okay, I need to kind of enlist some people who know or have a little bit more experience than me. I feel like some, I don't know, you can probably comment to it better, but I feel like some like Gen Z or even like my age, I'm 30, so a little bit older, we were kind of like anti-authority, and we're like, we're going to do it our way, or like screw the system, you know.
I still feel that way, 100%.
Okay, see, I was going to ask, because I was really like that, but then it wasn't until later that I was like, oh, like, I can't figure it out all on my own, like.
Yeah, and I don't think we should. Like, some people have to figure it out on their own. Some people are trailblazers, some people are pioneers, some people are pathfinders, and I think often they have to make their own path, and there's no person who came before them that can really like be like, you go this way. They have to figure it out. But if you're taking more of a traditional path, then there are mentors who have done the thing that you want to do that you can reach out to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are trailblazers who want to take their own path. But if you're taking more of a traditional path, there are mentors that you can reach out
100%. And even like, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily following a traditional path. I think I fought myself a lot with which direction I want to go. And so I'm figuring it out, but I can at least get mentors in each field that I want to explore and take pieces from them and then make my own amalgamation of artsy-fartsy creative things and go from there.
Wow. That's such great advice, honestly.
I say artsy-fartsy.
Well, yeah, I was going to say so.
Some people, one of my friends was like, don't say artsy-fartsy.
What,
You're making fun of the art world. I think it's funny. So.
What would you say, how would you describe your art to somebody who's never, like, seen anything you've ever done before?
Intimate, nostalgic, and what's the last word? Intimate, nostalgic, and
I would say like chain breaker or something that's also like
non-traditional. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's a better word for non-traditional?
Eccentric or not? Yeah, maybe eccentric.
Yeah.
But something that kind of pushes
The
people
boundaries.
to open their minds.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Inquisitive? No.
That's good though. That's good. So one of the really cool things about this interview right now is you just started. Well, not just started. I'm sure you've been working on this for years, right? Yeah. Because that's how documentaries are. But you're now really thinking about starting the filming process here in the summer, right?
Yes.
And so you're starting to actually create content, and you have a sizzle reel you put together that I watched. And you also have you made your deck.
Yes, I did.
And you have gotten some funding, right? Or
yes, in ways.
Okay. And you're also looking for more.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So tell me about your documentary, Does My Hair Offend?
Yes. Does My Hair Offend is a docu-series that focuses Black women, their hair, and whether they have the ability to have freedom of expression with their hair, like the greater conversation of Black women being limited throughout history, and like our hair, like being covered, being cut for work, being fired because, it's an afro or it's in braids or it's in locks. So I'm taking that greater history that we have, and I'm seeing how far I can push the boundaries in creative expression and taking everyday women and changing their hair and seeing what comes from it afterwards.
Okay, so you change these women's relationship to their hair.
I would hope to, but I'm just changing their hair. And if through this process, the relationship to their hair is transformed, then that is amazing. But if anything, I just hope to raise some questions about how they've been living, like if they've been limiting themselves or if they've been limited by the systems that we live in, and seeing if they could jump out of that little box or at least expand it or question why they're in it in the first place.
Nice. Okay, tell me about your mom.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, you said you're wearing a scarf with her.
I am. I'm wearing a scarf for my mom.
Okay, should I look at it?
Yeah. If there's a...
There is. I can
cool.
actually see the photo right here. Wow.
Yeah, that was, I think it's her fourth or fifth birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that my grandmother put on for her. My mom was a really funny person, big personality, big humor, always laughing about something, always playing R&B music from the 90s. And sometimes a bit older, lots of Aretha Franklin as well. So she was really big on Black education and making sure that I knew my history, the good and the bad. So I guess so I could just make more informed decisions that I didn't realize that until later, but I was exposed to a lot through my mom. Carmen Jones, one of my favorite movies, and that was introduced to me through my mom. And like knowing that it was, I think it's the first all Black cast film, and it's a musical, and I'm like, that's so cool. And it's in color, and like it's in the Library of Congress, and learning about Alvin Ailey and all these different forms of art and expressed through Blackness and creativity. So like it makes sense that I'm like I love creating in so many different mediums of expression. She also gave me my first camera, a little Kodak disposable, when I was in kindergarten, so I can take pictures of my classmates and just be a kid. She was really wonderful. But watching her live life and not have all of the tools to be as successful as she wanted to be, even though she was really driven, and not having access to counseling and like mental health therapy, and having the knowledge around that so that she could understand what was happening in her life from her lived experiences that may have been seen as traumatic, and how that affects you in your day-to-day life, was difficult for me to watch and process, and not fully embracing or loving her natural hair was a part of that. Like, I only saw it when it was wet because she had to wash it. But other than that, it was pressed straight, or pulled back into a ponytail. And she always had a middle part, and she liked having like cute hair clips with like flowers and butterflies on it so she could pin her hair up. So that was her way of being creative with her hair. But because of the jobs that she had to work so that she could provide for me and my brother, there wasn't that much flexibility with how her hair was presented because of the professionalism question. Is it professional? No. Straight hair is seen as professional. So you wear your hair straight, and it shouldn't be that noticeable. So pull it back and make sure everything's clean and do your job. And that never resonated with me.
She's not with us anymore.
No. She passed away in 2020.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Cancer.
Okay. Do you know what type?
Colon cancer.
Mm-hmm. Colon?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I bet that was really hard for you to be a part of.
Yeah, it was difficult. Very difficult to witness, to process for myself, and to also like see someone that you look up to and like you love, and they're physically declining and like mentally declining as well. And that is hard for you, but that's also hard for them to process because that's not what they were expecting to go through or experience in their life. Coupled with how everyone else that's like close to them feels about this thing happening suddenly, that no one expected. But what we do know about terminal illnesses is that they don't just pop up out of nowhere. Like, there are signs. But we weren't aware of those signs at the time. But that's another story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking these women and you're changing their hair. You're literally changing their hair.
Yes.
Like, cut, color, anything they want to do, or is it what you want to do?
So I give them, I talk to them first and see like what they already do with their hair. If I approach a woman with this idea and she already wears wigs, then I'll be like, okay, how can we be more expressive with the wigs that you wear? Or maybe it's, well, how often do you wear your natural hair? Would you want to try just wearing your natural hair for this and like see how it goes? If I have someone who is used to straightening her hair and wearing it in a ponytail that I'm going to want to see if she wants braids or try something else and then go from there. And then if they've never had color, let's try some color. If they've never had long hair, let's wherever they are, I'm just trying to go in the opposite direction.
I'm like, that's scary for them.
Not necessarily. Because,
you did say you want it to be temporary,
and it's
right?
creative, yeah.
Okay.
So it is temporary. It'll be for like a short period of time. And then they can choose after that if they want to continue it or if they want to choose a different variation of the style that I give them.
It's like a temp to perm kind of situation. or temp to like fully expressed. Well, I guess that's what it's going to explore. It's like, how does it change their personality or, what they're willing to...
And the environment that they're in as well on like a daily basis. Like,
you mean how does the environment react to them? Or...
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
How are you going to capture that?
By capturing their environment. Like being in their place, their personal space, their workspace, like wherever they are in, I want to see how the world reacts to them. And I also want to see how they react to themselves.
So do you have to, are you getting like a license to go into these, like, like, can you give me, okay, so how do you find these? How do you find the women who want to, or maybe they don't want, maybe they want, but who are willing to change their hair?
So far, one of the women that I'm working with, Miss Yvonne, I love her. She is my grandmother's swim aerobics instructor at the YMCA in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. So I was introduced to her through my grandmother. And every time I visit my grandma in Cleveland, I go to her YMCA class. It's a swim aerobics class,
Cool.
Those
they got
the little weights and they're doing that stuff. So I just went because I wanted to see what the class was like. I always see it in movies and I'm like, I think I would like this, so let's try it.
Did you like it?
It's amazing. It's so fun.
That's cool.
And the workouts are really hard. Like,
oh, wow.
She's 73 years old, but she pushes them so hard.
Dang.
From a place of like love and care. She's like, we want you to be healthy.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to be active.
It's so important.
And they're listening to like 70s funk music and like the Supremes and like Earth, Wind and Fire. And so like it's such a beautiful environment. And it's mostly women. There's a couple guys in there, but it's mostly women and it just feels like a big sisterhood.
Nice.
And that felt like a safe place for me to start. And Miss Yvonne she just felt like the perfect person because she's an elder, so she's had a lot of experience over her life with her hair. And I think because she's in the role of a caretaker, like she's taking care of her class, she's looking after people who are younger than her and older than her and herself. I don't know how much time she gets to take care of herself, and that is reflected in her hair. So it's like, I want to do this for her. I also want to see how that shifts within her, and also how this community that she's taking care of responds to her, because like she has been their like role model for however long.
Yeah, and it's interesting because since she pushes these women, these older women, it's almost like she kind of has that in her as well, like the pushing the boundaries a little bit of like, hey guys, you can do this and it's going to make you better. The same way you're like, hey, you can express yourself more and it's going to make you happier or whatever, So maybe, obviously I know she probably fell in love with you after meeting you, but
I'm her granddaughter.
You're her granddaughter, okay.
I'm
2
her
grannies now.
Adopted granddaughter.
That's so cute.
I have like 16 grannies. Like,
why do you like grannies so much?
I think I have been blessed I was born with 3 of my grandmothers. Like my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother were all alive. And I understand that's a privilege that not many people get. So I'm like, I love a grandma.
No, that is crazy.
They're amazing. Like,
wow.
They have taken care of me in so many ways. And I think grandmothers are just like the matriarch of particularly the Black community, but like a lot of people honor their grandmothers. And I'm like, they're great. I love it.
They are great. They are great. So having your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and your
Yes.
great-great-grandmother,
Yes.
having those three,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that was kind of like the seed idea of making this film, talking to them about their upbringings?
Not necessarily. Like, my great-grandmother passed away when I was like 3.
Oh, okay.
So I learned about her life through my grandmother. I spent a lot of time with my great-grandmother. I never really talked to her about her hair, but I talked to her about her work. Like, she was a nurse, and in her unit, she was one of the only African American nurses. So she was used to being kind of this lone ranger, this like isolated person in her workplace. But she also like carried a camera everywhere she went, and like I have pictures that she took of the nurses that she worked with, and like of like my mom and like my grandma, because she always had a camera with her. So that definitely got passed on to me, but that also got passed on to my mom, who also would always have a camera, and she gave me my first camera. And I would say the birthplace of this idea was from my mom, because she talked about experiences she had when she was a kid in elementary school, of being bullied for her curly hair. And like the pictures that I have of her, she has beautiful hair, like gorgeous, but she didn't feel comfortable wearing her hair because of like the dynamic between light skins and dark skins, and like, well, you have better hair than me, so I'm gonna make fun of you for it. Or even though there's no such thing as like good or bad hair, like it's just curly or kinky. So the societal issues of like self-hatred and putting other people down for their uniqueness, hearing that from my mom, one, made me really sad, because I'm like, most of her life I saw her in a ponytail or just like a straight, relaxed,
straight hair.
Just straight hair. And there's one time I remember she had like a curly set, and it's honestly like a vague memory to me, because I'm like, it's such a tiny blip of time. And it exists, because for so long I thought that I was just making it up. I was like, is this actually real? I don't know. But there's a picture of her with like curly hair, and I'm like, cool, that happened. But that's the only time that ever happened. And also because of the work and the environments that she was in. She spent a lot of her early life working in factories, like the Midwest industrial working environment. She had to have her hair back. So having a ponytail and like straight hair was convenient for her, but it never went anywhere. And I like experimenting with my hair, so I'm like, if that is the reason that she didn't get to experiment or like express more of herself, then there must be so many other women who have similar stories, who also feel limited, whether it's through trauma or workplace oppression or societal oppression. Like all of these things that need to be addressed but aren't really being addressed. Like, I feel like influencers, celebrities, and models have the most creative expression. But what about the doctors and the lawyers and the factory workers in the grocery store, like checkout ladies in the post office? Like, there's so many other professions where flight attendants, like, where all of that, because of the work policies, is like, no, you can't do this.
Interesting. So if I got that, you got to see up close through your mother how deeply the non-expression of her hair, her natural hair, affected her, whether she really knew that or not. But you kind of witnessed like that she was not. Maybe her early experience was always stayed with her, of people bullying her for her hair. And so through like growing up with that, you yourself were like, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to fully express myself, push the boundaries, kind of let other people see what's possible. But also like deeply within you was like your mother's lack of ability to do that. And you connected that to there's so many other women in America, especially in more normal or corporate probably roles that still feel like that today.
Yeah.
Not even just because of their childhood, because I'm sure they were bullied too, but because of how things are set up still.
Yeah.
So when did you put that together? Like, when did you realize, like, oh, this is still an issue?
I feel like it was like a series of witnessing. I think for me, the first time I really paid attention to it was in college. That was the point where I was like, okay, I don't want to have my hair relaxed anymore. Because after a certain point as a kid, your mom gets tired of doing your hair. And it's like, getting it relaxed. Make it easier. So in college, I was like, I am going to grow out my natural hair. And I did a pixie cut. And I was so cute. I was like learning about...
I'm like, I want that picture. We'll pop it in there.
Yeah, I'll find it. I was learning about just like history and it was really cute. It's so funny. I joined this group in college called LOCKS, League of Conscious Knowledge Seekers.
Oh, okay.
Very like Hotep, look,
Yeah.
Grand Rising Queen. But through that, I went on a binge of just like absorbing information and learning about all these issues and like learning about the connection between ourselves and our hair and like spirituality and energy. And I guess like that was also around the time I watched Good Hair, the documentary by Chris Rock, and learning about the history of relaxers and just like seeing people around me. And there's always comments of like, ugh, I hate doing my hair. My hair is so like hard to do. I'm just going to do this. Like always trying to find solutions to deal with their hair instead of embracing the texture that it is. Or you see the person who just wants to do everything, but that the dyeing, the cutting, the coloring, but that is also damaging in its own way. So it's like, okay, you have two options. You could ditch everything and just be natural and deal with your hair natural, or you get, I guess, three options: cover it up with and try braids or sew-ins, or just stick with the relaxers. So seeing like the basic paths.
You don't like those relaxers?
No, they're not good for you.
Hey, that's good to know. You know, they're actually not good for your hair, right?
There's been like studies of it being linked to cancer and like
all
of these things that we aren't realizing because our bodies are like processing the chemicals that's in it.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be the healthiest as possible.
Oh, okay.
And that was like, okay, it's got to go.
Yeah, as soon as I learned that, I used to dye my hair all the time. And as soon as I learned that when you're pregnant, you can't dye your hair, I was like,
that makes sense.
Okay, this must be a problem.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I almost want to play devil's advocate for a second because I think you'll have a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, a good answer for this. Okay, so if somebody were to say to you, hair is not the world's biggest problem right now, what would your answer? What would your
That's funny.
Like, what would your counter be?
I would say anything that is stopping you from being your truest self is a problem, because it means that you are limiting yourself, you're changing yourself every day to fit into whatever society thinks you're supposed to be. And that is a problem. Like, I don't know exactly what the scientific or like the long-term effects of like not being yourself is, but depression is at an all-time high, anxiety, like people feeling lonely. There are so many issues that you might not think may be linked to hair, but are linked to hair because it's linked to self-expression.
Do you think that, because you talked about you'd studied the spirituality of it, and I really want to go there, but do you think that possibly even like it could be causing more violence because people are not expressing themselves? I feel like when you bottle up your expression, it always comes out as possibly like anger later or something like that.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of ways that it comes out, whether, different like blockages of your emotions and anger, sadness. It all manifests in different ways. So I would say that that's true. Like, and I feel like the people who are fully themselves seem to be the happiest.
That's true.
100%. Like, they don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. They're going to be themselves, and it makes them happy.
Yeah.
All the other people, not so much.
Yeah. The thing about hair is that, like, you're not hurting anyone by having different hair. It's not like you're being yourself and it's also hurting somebody because maybe your morals are different than theirs. It has nothing to do with morals.
No, it has nothing to do with other people whatsoever. Yeah, it's just about other people not seeing the value in like variety and difference, or just like the idea that I need to limit someone because they aren't like me, or it's distracting. Why are you so distractible? Like, it doesn't feel like a real issue, but someone has made it a real issue to them to implement it in their company policies and to fire people and to exclude them from certain activities, like boundaries. You're not respecting other people's bodies is really weird. And yeah, I don't agree with it.
Is anybody afraid of getting fired, or like,
that's the thing. Like, I don't want to get anyone fired. I don't want to put anyone's like life or economic stability at jeopardy. So I'm being strategic about who I pick, and so that doesn't happen. You know, like with Miss Yvonne, it's that one I believe will be the easiest environment because everyone gets along with each other, and so I feel like I need both options. I need an option where it would feel like this is normal and everything is supposed to be like this, and then I'll have an option where there's tension, but strategically.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm like, wouldn't it be interesting if somebody did get fired and then you really prove your point?
Yeah.
And obviously we don't want that to happen because it's really bad for whoever, makes their livelihood. But
but if there's like,
then it could be a lawsuit.
Yeah. Right.
Because, okay, so let's talk about the Crown Act. So you know more about the Crown Act than I do. When was it first enacted? Do you know? Okay, we'll look that up.
We'll look that up. But I know that it's
ongoing.
The whole country hasn't passed it. Like, California was the first. And so in this state, there are way more freedoms. So I can work with someone here in California and know that they won't get fired, which means that if there's an issue, it'll be passive aggressive, or it'll be in a different way that will still add to the issue of like, okay, I have this protection, but obviously you have issues with me, and we're seeing that. And Ohio is different because the whole state hasn't passed it. We just got it passed, actually, in Cuyahoga County. But
congratulations.
Thank you. It's the uppermost part of Ohio.
Okay.
But the rest of Ohio, not so much.
And where are you filming this at?
Cleveland.
Is Cleveland's not part of, I guess?
Yeah, it is.
It's part of the upper part of Ohio. So
Yeah,
Cleveland's
it's like,
good.
Cleveland's
interesting.
Like the top of...
So everybody will be safe.
Yes, everyone will be safe.
It was just passed, so people, I'm sure, are still prejudiced, or, it's still very...
Yeah, and Ohio's a very different state.
It's conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, every part of this country is so different,
Oh, yeah. It really is.
And so, picking locations that have different political views, and there's different, demographics of people, I think will show a well-rounded perspective on like this issue, because it is an issue and people have lots of opinions about it.
Is it still, so are you picking people, one from Ohio, YMCA, granny.
Yeah.
But two different states for the other two, or are they all
Yes.
in?
No.
Oh, okay.
Different states, different professions.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. And are they picked out yet or not yet?
I still need to choose one more person.
Who's the second person?
The second person's here in LA, and she works in a corporate setting.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. It will be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
It'll be very interesting. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
When did you start initially working on this idea? Like, how long has it been so far?
It's been like 2 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, of me having the idea, me trying to figure out how to get it going. But when I had the idea, I was already working on so many other projects. So it's like, okay, I need to get through all these other ideas and projects first.
Okay.
And then work on my relationship with Miss Yvonne and the YMCA so that now when I can shoot, I have full access. Like, they know me, they're comfortable with me. I don't have to work on that relationship anymore because it's already built.
That's cool. See, that's really important. I think, like, in anything that you do, but it's interesting being like a documentarian or a photojournalist, how you do have to make sure that people are very comfortable with you. And like, I have just recently experienced it more in business. Like, you have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same. You're not filming them.
Yep.
Well, I'm usually filming them, but you know, even in business, you're not filming them, but you're, you know, trying to close a deal or do a partnership or whatever. And it's a similar thing. Like, you have to, when you said 2 years, I was like, that seems like it's about the time it takes to get somebody comfortable with you in order to actually want to go full on and do this thing, right?
Yeah, especially I feel like the older population, I don't feel like they're as trusting as like
you're right.
younger generations. And so, yeah, it takes longer for them to feel comfortable with you. They need to be around you more often. They need to know what your values and like intentions are, and that they could trust you. So that takes time.
Do you have any like advice about how young filmmakers or photographers could build that trust? Like, if they're just starting out?
I would say just being honest. Like, being honest, being vulnerable. If you're vulnerable with people, then that encourages them to be vulnerable with you. Listening and, like, letting them know that you hear them and you understand and empathize with whatever they're going through and that you're genuinely interested in their lives. Yeah, like, being a genuine person. People can spot, like, fake bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of that these days.
I know. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know if it's easier said than done, like, especially when you're young, but, or, you know, if you're an influencer or you're like putting on a front all the time, it's like, how do you tell one of those people to be genuine? It's like, that's a long learning. It's like almost like they have to undo and meet themselves first, right?
It's like, they got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's
holding space for your own self first.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard, but it just requires you to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I guess can be hard for people.
What would you tell somebody who is interested in possibly funding your project?
What I'm aiming to do is start a movement. It's not just, it starts with the film, but it's, if someone who's investing in this has people in their lives who is suffering from limitation in any way, then I feel like it all starts with inspiration. Like, telling people stories and inspiring people to, like, be themselves and get out there is, like, the beginning of a greater movement that knocks down the pillars of oppression. And I'm like, if you want to be a part of a movement, if you want to see genuine stories happen,
in real time.
Yeah, in real time that impacts communities at large, then that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How many people do you feel like you've impacted in your life just by being your expressive self?
Well, I wouldn't even know. Thousands upon thousands. Wow. Like, over the whole course of my life. I don't know if there's a way to measure that right now, but I feel like it's thousands upon thousands, you know? Because you can impact someone by meeting them and knowing them and talking to them. You can impact people that are just watching you. Like, I wouldn't even know who's watching me that finds something that impacts them if they didn't tell me, I wouldn't know.
Mm.
So, a lot.
We should tell each other more, I think.
Yeah,
You know
I would
what?
say so. And I do that. Like, I love complimenting random people on the street and, like, giving them little bits that make them feel good, because I don't know how often people willingly do that. I know I do, but I don't know who other people. I know some people, but I don't know how often that happens for everyone.
Yeah.
And I always feel like it's nice for people to hear, because I like hearing that. So
yeah, I do
and
too.
it makes you feel better. Plus, you don't know who's having a bad day, or like,
there's been
yeah, you never know what it could do. So
I
you
think
might as well.
Yeah, I always had that philosophy too of like, I just want to, you know, be a positive light in people's, even just passing by people or at Starbucks or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much of an impact it could have on somebody until like, I mean, I usually am not in public having bad days, but there was one time I was like in public, like really going through it in an airport, and this lady at I don't know, Jamba Juice or something, she gave me a compliment on, like, I don't know, my outfit. It was like, I really like your outfit. And instantly I was like, this is why people say you never know what someone's going through, and just compliment people, because instantly I like snapped out of it, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, thank you. And wow, I'm like happy again. It's so true. Just by being like yourself and being expressive and like your light, whatever light you can bring that day, you know, you really don't know.
Yeah. And for someone that's going through something, they feel less alone as well. Like, there's someone out in the world that is noticing me having a hard time, and instead of passing me by and not paying attention, they're actually paying attention, and they care enough to say something. Like, a couple years ago, I was really sad, and I was taking a walk, but then I started crying, and I sat down at a bus stop, and like, these group of girls came by and gave me a brownie, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I know you're crying, but I want to give you this brownie, and like, maybe it'll help you feel better. And I was like, thank you. You know? So like, that was nice.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah, there's
so sweet of them.
There's also this random, I feel like it's happening so much here in LA. There was another time I was driving and I was crying. And this lady, I had my windows down. I don't know, I was probably blasting music. But I was crying. And this lady was like, oh my gosh, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And I was like, thank you.
It's so beautiful, though.
Synchronized moments of like me not feeling good and someone actually showing up that I don't know to let me know that it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So you did these... I mean, I'm kind of like imagining, you told me you were going on street interviews this week, right? This past week or something. And I'm picturing like that's probably how you were impacting people. Yeah. But how did those go? Like, what did you uncover?
It was so cool.
So first tell a little bit about like what you're doing, like what kind of content you're creating, and then we can go into that.
So I am making mini interviews that aren't necessarily going to be in the film, but they're adding to the greater conversation that I'm starting. So we went out in different parts of LA and we just talked to 10 women in total.
Oh, wow.
About their hair, their relationship to their hair, like how people respond to it, different encounters they've had with people, good or bad. And it was really fun. It was like, I feel like we surprised everyone. It's like, oh, really? You want to interview me? Wow, thanks. I'm like, I'm not ready. What do you mean?
That's fun, though.
But I love doing that stuff. And just like stopping someone in the middle of the day to see if they have time to have a conversation. They're like, oh, sure. Like, why not?
You had some takers.
Yeah.
What was
Basically, everyone said yes. They're like, yeah, this is great.
Cool.
Of course.
It is great. What was the most interesting, like, if you could pick one to talk about, what was like something that was like stood out to you or kind of lingered with you from those conversations?
The interview that stood out to me, I would say this young lady that we stopped. It was in the artist's district, and she was working like and we were like, hey, are you free? Like, she was like, yeah, I have like 5 minutes. And she talked about her mom being from Guyana, I believe, and the relationship that she witnessed that her mom had, which also to her hair wasn't the best. Like she explained that her mom always wore wigs and like covered hair. Like she rarely saw her mom's hair out ever because she always had a wig on, and her hair was always relaxed because same thing. Like this is the easy way to deal with your hair. We do this. And to this day, her hair is still relaxed. And I felt like some of the people I talked to hadn't thought about it in a while of like, oh yeah, this is what shaped the relationship to my hair. And this is how I'm still operating in like just that like shock of like, whoa, okay, this is something that I've been dealing with, but I haven't had time to like address it. And giving people space to really think about it for the first time in however long was fascinating. Because this is at the top of my mind. I'm like, I don't know why I have an assumption. It's like everyone is thinking about this as well. I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah. But it's interesting because it's inside of a lot of people, right?
Yeah, you just have to like pull it out. Yeah.
Wow. So you were kind of fascinated by like how deeply it was affecting this woman, and she hadn't had the chance to even really think about it or reflect on her own like emotions about it.
Yeah, and I feel like not most of them, maybe about half, felt like that, where they all had a early memory that impacted how their relationship with their hair was today, but something that they hadn't thought about in a long time. But asking that question made them connect the dots and be like, oh yeah, I've never thought about this before, or no one's ever asked me this before, so
that's interesting.
Maybe I should do something here.
That's really fascinating. How did you deal with that? Not deal with it, but how did you kind of take that energy on, and what did you do to make them feel comfortable? Like, did you say anything, or were you just quiet with them and hold space, or like how did you handle that, like as the interviewer?
I'm pretty adaptive when it comes to responding to others. Some people do need you to hold space for them. Sometimes it is nice when like feeling or giving reassurance to be like, yeah, I experienced that too, or like you're not alone, and just definitely like always thanking them for their time and for like they could have said no, but like you made time to stop what you're doing and talk to me about this thing. So I hear you, I appreciate you, like this is awesome. I'm always giving people compliments all the time. Giving compliments, and I feel like that's a nice little care package of support and appreciation.
Did they appreciate you back? Like, were they like, thank you so much for this?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
We had like really good reactions, and I could tell that they felt like appreciative, and it was a nice time. They enjoyed it, like, or at least like they walked away like having something that they didn't think about before, like fresh in their mind, and they get to do what they want with that.
Yeah, totally. So those interviews going up, you're putting them like online prior to the to filming, or will it come out all with the movie?
It's steps. Hi.
Wow.
Hi. So cute.
So going back to earlier, we were talking about how people don't really sometimes express when somebody has changed them. So I'm going to tell you something that I discovered on your Instagram that really changed my perspective, or it just made me think. And I don't know all the details of what I'm about to say yet, but something that stood out to me about your page was I was reading like the captions of a lot of your photos, because I was like, wow, these are great. And then, okay, you're a photojournalist, right? It makes sense. But I think you said something about when I take, this is going to be wrong, but it's something about when I take the photo, I'm looking for the space between the conscious and the unconscious thought, or the conscious and the subconscious thought.
Sounds like something I would say, yeah. I wouldn't know specifically what it was.
I don't know why that stuck with me. I think because sometimes when I talk to people, or a lot of times in my own mind, I'm I'm like always tracking, like, am I conscious, or is this my subconscious, or is this my unconscious? And I've just never heard anyone say, because I've always wondered, right? Like, how do you know when to take the photo, especially when you're photographing a person? And so I've always wondered how people, like, I've seen it in movies where they sit there and they just wait for the right moment and then they get it, especially on like a film camera.
Yeah.
But I've never heard that descriptor before. And so, I don't know, that inspired me to, like, I guess be more attentive to humans, you know, and kind of paying attention to, I don't know, their minds or something like that. So thank you for that.
No problem.
I'm like, I want to know more about that, but you don't know what I'm talking about, so.
I feel like I do. Like,
Okay.
to me, what I've seen, and this goes with, like, self-expression, I've seen a lot of people put on, like, a face to operate in the world, whether that's something that they've learned, what they felt like they had to be, like, growing up, this, like, persona. And that person is not always who they truly are. But when I have a moment to photograph them, and I'm sitting with them and they're like resting, and I do what I can to make them feel comfortable to be themselves, I'm looking for those moments that aren't so manicured or composed from the self-composed. And sometimes it's easier to spot than others, but I really feel like when you're in an intimate space with people, then the parts of it come out, you know, and like it seeps out. And yeah, those are the moments that I like to capture, because like that's who you truly are. And I'm like, you don't. I don't like when, not to say I don't like, I get that a lot of people can hide themselves because like they want to feel safe, like, and not everyone makes you feel safe. So if I can make you feel safe, then there's a likelihood that you may show me a part of yourself that not too many people get to see, because not everyone makes you feel safe.
That's where I wanted to mirror you earlier when the camera got cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I got that, not everybody makes you feel safe. And you do what you can to make people feel safe, because that's who they really are when they're safe.
Yeah.
And not putting on like a mask. Did I get that? Is there more to that?
I think that's the gist of it. Like,
What made you realize that?
noticing how I am when no one's around versus noticing how I am when other people are around. And recognizing that I act different when I'm around different people. And most people act different when they're around different people. And I'm like, is there anyone in my life that I am always this way, every way around? And yes, it is, but it took me a while to find those people, because I always felt like this group of friends I'm like this with, and this group of people I'm like this with, and when I'm with my family I'm like this. But those are all slightly different, and I wanted to close that gap.
Earlier when the camera cut off, you said that you've been around people that didn't do anything to go out of their way to make you feel safe, that you felt unsafe around. I want to ask, is there more to that? And you don't have to tell me, but is there more to that?
Is there more to that? In most of those cases, I was around people who would be considered like judgmental or, very opinionated about difference and variety. And it's like, well, we are friends because of this, and you're like this. But if you show me something different, I don't know if I like that, or if it's like not accepting. And I'm a very accepting person. And in my earlier years, that has been to a fault because it makes relationships complicated if it's not mutual.
Interesting. What would you tell those people if you could look at the non-accepting people as like a race or, a conglomerate? Literally. What would you tell them as a whole? Is there something that you would tell them to like get it?
Well, I understand now that people can only meet you where they've met themselves. So for anyone who isn't accepting of other people, that means that somewhere inside they're not accepting of themselves or whatever part of themselves.
Is it the same part always? So say if somebody doesn't accept your hair, are they not accepting of their own hair, or is it just in general? Or do you don't know?
Maybe.
I've wondered that.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I feel like they're all connected, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm like, they have to do the inner work to fully accept who they are and realize that everyone in this world is similar but also completely different from one another. And that's beautiful. So everyone doesn't have to be the same. Everyone shouldn't be the same. Like, there are whole planets in the universe of just one organism. It's just water. It's just gas. It's just whatever. Our planet's not like that. We have so many different species and colors and textures and so many things. Like, we're supposed to be different. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's funny because it's like a fact, like I guess like a scientific fact that the human race is like naturally opposed to difference. So it's fascinating to me to always meet people who are more accepting than others, because I think some of that is, I don't know if it's just like you're born with it or because maybe you've been oppressed so much, right? Or like you see how people can be so angry and mean towards you. And the other piece is like, I feel like it can also be learned, but maybe only to a certain extent. But do you feel like that was like always in you, or do you feel like you also had to kind of learn some of that acceptance for yourself and others?
Oh, it's always been in me. I think I've learned to not accept people and then had to go back to who I really am, which is accepting.
So you've learned by what? To not accept people?
By other people's experiences. Of
telling
like,
you? Okay.
Yeah, I had this experience and these people made me feel like this, or like this happened to me and this. So it's like, because of this, I don't like this type of person. We don't. Or because of religion. Those type of people are bad or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but all of that comes from other people. Like, as a kid, you're like, they've done these things where it's like, kids aren't racist. Kids aren't afraid of bugs or snakes or like anything. They're like, yeah, this is new and exciting and fun and different. But I'm curious until someone older than you who has had an experience that was traumatic or bad to them, it's like, no, don't.
A lot of times it's not even that though, because when you boil it down to like spiders, which is true, like what you're saying is like every acceptance of one thing is acceptance of everything essentially. But it's like when you boil it down to like a spider, I might not have even ever had a spider bite. But because everybody in the world says spiders are scary, they're going to bite you, like they're going to climb in your mouth when you're sleeping, all these things, Now I'm scared of spiders, and I'm going to tell my kid, hey, don't touch the spider. You know, spiders are scary. Right. Meanwhile, I haven't even had a bad experience with a spider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, everything has made it into politics. But yeah, like the systems of oppression, like, you know, movies, the news, social media now, everything contributes to how people feel about other people or things or whatever. And I think what you said is really important. Like, I realized that I was basing my opinions off other people's opinions. So you said when you went back to yourself and whatever that means to you, to me, it feels like it means, like, I don't know, presence. Like just being completely present.
Okay.
Is,
makes sense.
I mean, you didn't say that, but is that accurate? Or what would you call yourself? Like, because you said that's not really me. So when I went back to myself, I realized that I was accepting. So what do you mean by yourself?
Myself as in, like, the core of who I am. And I believe that is a soul experiencing human life, or a ball of light, or stardust, or whatever. But
I like the stardust.
That doesn't come with preconceived notions or stereotypes and judgments about other people or myself. It just is. And if I just am, then other people just are too.
So I have a background in acting, and I found, like, being in the center of the, you know, always people looking at me was, you know, one thing. And then when I kind of stopped doing that and I went behind the camera, I realized, like, hey, the camera's the observer and I'm now observing the observer. Yeah. And it really separated my, like, consciousness. It really was like, wow, you're not, first of all, you're not the center of attention. Second of all, like, there's so many levels to, like, observation of self and others. And so, yeah, I think everyone should be a photographer or a videographer once in their life. Yeah. Because you really just have to sit and, like, watch and just be okay with whatever is going on. And I think that changes you, like, as a person.
Yeah.
So interesting, you do have a long line of photographers. It's probably why you're so tapped into that part, or one of the, you know, maybe one of the reasons. But I think that's fascinating that also your mom always had a camera, and also your grandma was also a photographer too. Yeah. This has been so fun.
Thanks for having me.
So, okay, so this is part 1 of 3.
Yes.
And we will do another interview, I guess, in the summertime.
Yeah.
When you're actually shooting.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, like, a main thing I want to just explore is, like, what's changing in you as time goes on, you know, as you create this project. Because I think, like, a lot of times when you're kind of birthing something, you go through a transformation, but sometimes, that transformation isn't documented because you're the one really behind the scenes, like, pulling all the strings and pushing the buttons. And so I wanted to do a 3-part check-in and see, like, okay, where are we at now? And then where are we at when we're filming? And then where are we at afterwards? Like, hopefully when film festivals and, you know, all of that. So yeah, this is part 1 of 3, and I'll look forward to doing a trunk interview in a new tricked out car in the summertime.
Cool.
Thank y'all for watching another episode of Is There More? That was Shaunae. She is such a beautiful fairy with so many bright ideas for our country, for our world, also for herself. And, you know, she really inspired me to start doing funky things with my hair. So y'all will see me with some different hairstyles on here soon. If you like this video, if it did something for you, please send it to a friend and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also, leave a comment, leave a review. It really helps. That was Shaunae. My name is Megan A. Tully, and this has been Is There More? Thanks for listening.